All right, Kiss Army, welcome to the KissFAQ podcast. Thank you for giving us your time today and letting us into your head. I hope we don't do any damage. This is a Kiss-related podcast by the board, for the board. We hope that you enjoy.
All right, welcome to the KissFAQ podcast. We are, this is 2 weeks in a row. Woohoo! We're doing good again. So we've got Daniel Wees joining us. The always elegant voice of reason, Ken.
Hello. Elegant.
And then Mark.
Greetings.
So we're going to be talking probably a little bit about Gene Simmons today. We're going to be talking about probably Dynasty merch, which has arrived. We'll be talking about things that jump up in the messages as well. So I want to take the opportunity to thank Philly Mike, Sylvie Roos, Ronnie Parker, Mrs. and G Chup for being here. Mark, what you got going on in your world as we talk about things that are going on and new purchases?
As far as new purchases, I don't think I did get a couple of new purchases. Actually, that's sort of funny. I ordered a pretty rare prog record called Relayer. It's not Relayer, yes. The band was called Relayer. They're from like 79 or something like that from America. But they sound, pretty Yes influenced. But I got that on vinyl, and I got a Rick Wakeman CD. But the reason why I wanted to just get on here really quickly was I got the vinyl of my latest Project Gemini album. This one here, it has come in and everything's done. So I just want to quickly show it for people who have ordered it, what it looks like. So that's the cover. When you open it up, first thing you get the poster insert, or the little sort of insert that comes with it. That's kind of sort of a promo of the thing there. And also you get the booklet here that comes with it.
Wow.
And inside is the nice lyrics, and it shows the discography of the stuff as well. There's the songs in big for you if you have a hard time reading. And then it has the vinyl. And quick note for all you people, independent labels or major labels, look, an anti-static sleeve. What a concept. Nice. Not putting your vinyl into paper sleeves and making them all papery and shitty when you pull them out. So it only costs a little extra to do it, So there you go. And of course we have the vinyl, which is on this purple here. It turned out really nice. Thank you to Jason Pollan, who goes by Where's Drago on here, who helped out with the graphics and with stuff like that. He did the center labels, he designed them and all that. Right. So it turned out really nice. And for all you people who follow Dead Wax stuff, there's once again a message in the Dead Wax area for you to discover and read. And there's still about 20 copies left of this album on the Bandcamp site. If you haven't gotten a copy of it, I suggest you get it now, because once I get this now, once I actually have them in my possession, then people usually go and grab the last remaining copies now. So it turned out really good. People are anxious to get it. Some of the Canadian orders have already gone out. Some of the European orders have gone out. The US ones are going to my middleman guy. He'll be getting them sometime during this coming week, because he was away for a while, so he wasn't able to grab them last week. But soon enough, you'll get them, because as we know, once they arrive in America, it doesn't take very long to get stuff within continent. So it shouldn't be very much longer for all of you who have bought it. And thank you again for your support. And because the pressing got done so much quicker than last time, there will be another Project Gemini album coming before the year's end. So that's good news there. So nice. Thank you again for your support, and thank you for giving me this time, Julian and friends of the podcast here.
Yeah, that center ring reminds me of Twisted Sister. Come out and play. But,
that's true.
Yes.
I got some Kiss shit this week. I never buy a lot of merch these days, but I
new shirt.
I'm actually wearing a Kiss shirt, because I've never had a baseball shirt, and this thing I thought that is cool, so I ended up getting the picture disc thing. I'm going to flip that because I have no interest whatsoever in the vinyl. But I've got this, and I'm happy now. It's going to be my podcasting shirt. Nothing Dynasty wise will ever be as cool as this thing, right, Ken?
Yes.
Oh, the
Thank you.
Yeah, the sponge.
The sponge.
Ken had to sacrifice his knuckles for this, so this is the
That's
coolest
true.
Dynasty merch. I don't need anything
You
else.
gave one to
I've
Mark
got
as well
that.
a few years
Yeah.
ago. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are very cool. So thank you, Ken, as always, for sharing those with us. Yeah. So
I didn't buy anything, but I won something at a Kiss quiz.
yes,
You see, this I have a new thing as well on myself. I don't know why.
Drink it up.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool backside. Look at this.
just wait till his headphones fall off and he starts swearing.
There it is.
Nice.
Drink it up. Kiss. Yes. Nice.
So when they find you face down, ass up in a gutter, they're gonna know that you're a Kiss fan.
I'll show you something I got too.
Oh God, you got that one.
Yeah, I did get it. And
Show us. You get what?
Is there some error on that or something?
Ken?
the where they screwed up the look at the is that side 2 or 1?
2.
That's side
that's
2, side 1. We got your back right here.
Look at that.
Oh my God!
The new song, the brand new song, "We Got Your Back" from
What's it supposed to be?
"We Got Your Rock."
We got your back
Rock.
right here.
Right here. I don't know. I don't
That's
know why
terrible.
I purchased this one, but especially Friday music, they seem to screw things up. Plus, their mastering is half the time is not very good. But
It's questionable. Well, if it's
This
Joe
is the,
Joe DeGrosso or whatever his name is, he's usually not too good at it.
no, he was the one that did it.
Oh, okay.
Riagoso or whatever his name.
Yeah,
is.
Riagoso.
Hey,
that's it.
I mean, the center ring looks nice, but
Yeah.
The color's nice.
Be a hand poured kind of whatever.
Looks similar to mine, actually.
who wants to listen if it's not a proper remaster? I mean, who wants to listen to it? Because you just go back to your original CDs, and you know what? They have something called a volume
Original
knob,
vinyl.
so you don't really need it to be remastered in the modern sense, which just seems to be little more than brick-walling the volume and killing cats in the process, because they're not really doing anything in terms of EQ. You look at the waveforms, and other than them being brick-walled, there's no difference. So
It's a shame.
some of the Japanese CDs are slightly better, but I don't know whether that's just something that you persuade yourself because you spend a premium on the Japanese.
Oh yeah.
Well, but I find that the Japanese
vinyl is better.
Yeah, but I find the Japanese do tend to put a little bit of extra effort in it. You know, maybe not a grand amount, but I think that they do put a little extra in it, whether it's a little bit more top end or whatever. But it does. It's not a huge difference, but I noticed that it's somewhat noticeable.
Yeah, one other thing I got recently, and July the 28th was the 45th anniversary of the HBO broadcast of the Kiss concert, which is, of course, the 1977 show. So I needed this for the podcast episode that Andrew and I did on Budokan 77. And right in the middle of this is, I'll see if I can just find it. Actually, I think it's at the end, is very cool. This little layout of the Kiss concert, and next to it a really cool movie, Capricorn 1. So
Nice.
Oh, Capricorn 1.
that was a fun movie. Yeah.
What was that? Did that come in
movie
like the TV guide or something? That little thing, or what was that from?
No, that would have been the cable channel subscribers back in the day. I think
Oh.
would have gotten that separately.
Right. They give you
because
like
at the time, everything wasn't kind of universally represented. Again, I did have TV guides from them from that period as well, and it didn't even list it or didn't have an ad or anything. So that was very, very cool. But Daniel, this episode's supposed to be about you. You rode your reindeer into Göteborg and convened communion with the fellow Swedes at the Electric Circus. So tell us about it, because we're going to go through the set song by song, and everyone's going to go all Roman and do thumbs up, thumbs down on it.
Caesar.
All right?
Yeah. I went to the concert in Gothenburg, and it's quite a bit from where I live. I went on a train ride. It made me think of this old song from the Proclaimers. I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk... Because it was well over 500 miles away from where I live. So I had to go on the night train. Isn't that a song by Guns N' Roses? Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was I hadn't done it before. It went quite smoothly. You just go on the night train, you read a bit, and then you fall asleep, and then you're there. It works pretty well. I think I will do it more often. I think it worked out well. And he was supposed to play in Gothenburg at an amusement park, much like the one he played in Stockholm a few years back, in 18, I think it was, when he played Gröna Lund, a classic Kiss venue, where they played in 76. And now he was supposed to play Gothenburg's, what's it called? Liseberg. It's called Liseberg. So it's a great amusement park.
Mm-hmm.
He had played previously at Dalhalla. If you remember, Kiss played there a few years back. What's the name again, Julian? It's a limestone...
It's a quarry.
Quarry, yeah. I always forget that name. So he played there to very few people. I think there was just over 1,000 fans there. But from what I could tell at Liseberg in Gothenburg, it was well over 5,000. Some people say 10,000 people at the show. It looked kind of packed. So that was cool. But before I went to the concert, Carl Linnaeus, the author of those famous Kiss books.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He had a Kiss quiz at a local bar there in Gothenburg. So I assembled some of my Kiss friends. You might know Bent. He's been on the show on the KissFAQ podcast.
I love Brent. Great
Yeah.
guy.
Everyone loves Bent. He's just, very original type of guy. Easy to like. And Ronnie, Julian did an episode with him about the popcorn. And I also had Marco, who is, he was in my team. He is... I would say the brains behind the Let Me Know Swedish podcast and the designer of the Kiss fanzine over here in Sweden called Kiss Destroyer. Just a great guy.
Oh, nice.
So I had such luck. 3 great guys on my team, and they all know a lot of stuff about Kiss. But the competition was fierce. There were a lot of Kiss fans. You recognize the faces because you've seen them at shows and
We've seen about quizzes on the cruise.
Yeah, almost like that. Fortunately, guys like Alex Bergdahl wasn't there, and there are other guys there. Nils Brecke seems to be very good at Kiss quizzes. He's been on one of our quizzes. But actually, we made it to the final. We were 2 teams who ended up in a tie. So we had, like sudden death in hockey, overtime. And we had to pick one guy from our team to go forward and try to answer the question against the other guy from the other team. And Ronnie Lundell actually nailed it, and we won. And it was fantastic against that fierce competition. So that's where I got this jacket, and we got a lot of other stuff as well. So that was a great start of the day. And then we went to Gothenburg Towers, which is I would say a hotel complex, a great new, cool hotel that's huge. Went there and had dinner, a great dinner over there, and then we went to the show. And I tried to get up front, so I think I was in second or third row. I couldn't get up front because there were a lot of kids that were really, grabbing the fence. I tried a little bit, but I let them be up front. I'm tall, so I can see pretty well, even if I'm not up front. But I made it pretty far up front. And, but talking about that Kiss quiz, there were kind of interesting questions because, Carl Linnaeus, who was, the
Host?
The host of the quiz. He's going to release a Kiss quiz. I don't know if you've seen that.
No.
Later this year. I have to show you a picture. It looks great, actually. So I guess it was somewhat of
Is it going to be in Swedish only, or is it going to be a properly kind of done licensed product that Ken and I can get together with a cup of coffee and have a quiz battle.
Well,
They will alienate
it
us.
seems like these guys tend to, tend to go for Swedish products.
Yes, they tend to piss on North America.
Yeah,
No, they're not
I
pissing.
wouldn't say that, but I think they can't make money making. I don't know. The only thing I've heard is that about the books that they say they can't make money making it in English. But there's a great picture if you look for quiz QUISS. There's a great picture of Carl and Alex in a destroyer pose on the front, and then it says a quiz about Kiss in Swedish. So I guess, but some of the questions from the quiz that we took, I'd like to hear if you know the answers. One of the questions was this one. Try to remember them, but one was, what's the color of Eric Carr's lips on Asylum? What would you say?
Green?
That's correct. Mark, you should have been on my team as well. And another question was, what was the name that Vinnie Vincent wanted to have when he joined Kiss?
Oh,
I forgot that one, but
it was. Oh, I knew this one too.
yeah,
Ken? Hold on.
Mick.
McFury.
Yeah, Mick Fury.
I knew it was something ridiculous.
Yeah, and also, which car model did Ace Frehley wreck and was later
DeLorean.
used? Yeah, so
Wrong.
that was the type of question. I think it was DeLorean.
Wrong.
No.
Wrong.
What
So
was it then?
what does he say it in the lyrics then? It's DeLorean's automobile.
Yeah, he just drove that up the wrong way. It'll be in a book that's coming out in English.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. What a nice segue into that. Yeah. And the show started then, and he started off great.
Well, hold on about the show, because
Yep.
before we set up the show, let's talk about some of the other shows that had happened before that, because it had kind of set the stage. Ken, have you watched any of and come off mute before you answer. Have you been watching any of the video, like at Valhalla, when they basically did Almost Human? That's why I want to ask Ken.
Yeah.
They did Almost Human, and they. What were your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah. Well, I like the fact that I think the girl that he brought up on stage, who was in Gene Simmons makeup, and very excited about meeting him, I think, and about, I think, Kiss. She, I think, asked for him to do Almost Human, and the band started playing it. But she was the one singing kind of that song. He lit her, tried to sing it. The vocal, you couldn't hear the vocals too well, but I've said I still enjoyed it, because that is a song that I think they should play in concert. That's one of my favorite Gene songs going way back. I thought that was cool. And then there was the other one. Then they did Christine 16 actually too. Was that the same concert? And I was like, oh wow, he did Christine 16 also. So I was happy to see a couple of those songs, and so I was, so I watched a little bit of the other ones. It seems the set list changes a little bit, slightly here and there now, but I think that was great that they add those. Those are songs that they just should keep in, period, and drop some of the other stuff.
I agree. Mark, have you watched any video clips from the other shows before the tour reached Gothenburg?
I saw little things here and there. I didn't watch any full shows and stuff like that, but like there'd be a clip of like Charisma or something like that, and I'd watch that and stuff like that. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I think Gothenburg's the first one that there's a full, nicely shot video for up on YouTube. Daniel, back to you and leading us through this.
Yeah, the critics or the fans, so to speak, were hoping for more songs and less interaction with the audience. You know, he has this thing that he wants the audience to take part of the show and bring them up on stage. But there was no such luck during this show in Gothenburg. He kept on putting people on stage, and sometimes it worked real well, and sometimes it was quite a disaster. So that was a bit unfortunate. He could have played, you know, like Unholy, Fits Like a Glove, Not for the Innocent, instead of, you know, oh, what's your name there up front? Okay, you want to come up and sing a song? You know the song, don't you? You know, because you need to know, otherwise will go and get you. Okay, come up here. And at times it worked real well during this show in Gothenburg. There were at least 2 persons that actually knew how to play the stuff. So they had one guitarist up there and one drummer who kicked some ass.
The drummer was good.
Yeah, I spoke a bit with him afterwards. It was pretty cool, but he should have just used those 2. I think I don't know if he had told them previous of the show, but sometimes people just went up there because they like to be on stage, and they didn't know the song. And that's just disastrous.
Well, it's the girls with the cameras that seems to trigger them. But let's go around the panel, because I think these audience interaction segments are completely cringeworthy. He brings people up, and he did this in 2018 and 2017, and he kind of mocks them sometimes. And to me, he's having people say stuff in English or Swedish, and then he's kind of, you know, just being completely cringeworthy to me. Ken, how do you feel about people invading the stage? And no, they're being invited, and I don't think we've reached the point yet where every song in the set is a paid experience to join Gene on stage or perform live.
Right. Yeah, I know. That costs extra money. It is somewhat to a degree cringe, you know, worthy. It breaks up the momentum of the concert. I do not like them doing it a lot of times. If you're gonna do it, just do it at the very end, maybe very end of the concert. Do it. Doing it in the middle, it's just kind of breaks things up, and it seems to waste a lot of time where they could get at least another full song in. Like, you know, Daniel was talking, they could have, you know, played something else, you know, Fits Like a Glove, like you said. But and sometimes it doesn't even work. Sometimes it's kind of funny. It's like, okay, yeah, or this drummer, you know, he plays pretty good, not too bad, you know, or whatever. But I don't think they need that. I think they just need people paid to come there and see him play, not to see other people play. So I would rather that just keep it a little bit at the end of the concert, maybe on Rock and Roll Night or something like that, and be done, because everyone knows that's easy, right? So that's
you
that.
would think.
Otherwise, I did like the girl with all because of her enthusiasm and all that stuff. I thought that was kind of, you know, the girl in the makeup, Kiss makeup, on the other show, not this show.
Yeah.
The Hall. That one I kind of enjoyed because of her enthusiasm and she got into it and everything. But otherwise than that, all these other ones where people are just kind of standing around stage, not knowing the song or whatever, looking around. It's distracting, and I don't think he doesn't need to do it. He needs to stop doing that. Anyway.
Save it for the cruise. The stage is holy or unholy, Mark?
Okay, this is really annoying to me. I'll just start with this, because this to me is showing that this is total amateur hour. This is total bullshit. It is. I mean, if I was somebody who was paying to go to see this, I would be really pissed off, because first of all, like you said, you're bringing up these people who are taking up precious time. It took some of these people fucking forever to get on these stages. They're like, where's that girl? Where's that one I pointed out before? Yeah. What? Like, he seemed more concerned about bringing up girls on the stage than actually performing. And if I was a member of his band, I'd be starting to get a bit pissed off about this, because he has a good band. I started paying attention to the people that were on with him, and they were playing good. That guitar guy who's playing the leads and all that, he's really good. Like, and you know, he has a great drummer than Brian Tishy. He's really good. You know, I think the band is one of his stronger bands that he has. They could do a lot of great songs, and instead he's wasting his time with these fucking people coming up and doing shit there that that they don't need to be doing. It's just completely a waste of fucking time. I just don't understand why he wants to do it. He's always complaining about the other bands and about how they don't do things like the big boys. Well, this is not big boy shit that you're doing right now. Okay, this is total, like, if I went to the bar down the road and was watching a friend's band, said, hey, Brian just came in from outside. Come on, join me on stage, man. Let's do a song. Like, that's just stuff you see in the bar. Okay, it's just complete bullshit. And Gene's good. Like, he's singing good. He's doing the songs really well. I'd rather see him do a couple of more other songs. The only criticism I have with Gene, and this is something that we all know about, and it could be easily resolved, is that he's still pretty bad with remembering the lyrics. Just put one little teleprompter in front, and that would solve everything. You'd know I'd have all the lyrics there, and it'd be perfect. It'd be fantastic, because I have no complaint about his performance and the band's performance. I think they do really well. They're playing songs that we didn't expect, like House of Pain, the early version of it that Van Halen did when they were working with them. That was great. I thought that was a fantastic sort of treat to hear. But could you imagine if he had that slated in a show, and all of a sudden he couldn't be able to do it because he was waiting for 6 bimbos to come up on stage with him to sing that didn't end up, didn't even know the lyrics or anything up there. And that I'm wasting my time for that. I mean, sorry, didn't want to be rude about it, but really, I mean, this is just ridiculous. I mean, I'm glad I didn't have to pay for it, because that would have been really it's just a waste of time. Okay, sorry, I got a little on a tangent there, but I find it annoying.
We like it when you go on a tantrum. That's cool. But is ham acting a word in English? Is that
being a ham?
Something?
Ham
acting
ham,
is it feels more like that than a rock show. It's more like ham acting than a rock show at times.
And the thing that Julian brought up too, that I thought was really a strong point, is that sometimes he's making it sound like he's making fun of these people. Like when he did the thing with the "Are you ready?" He's like, "Girls, come on, are you ready?" He really made them sound like they were all wimpy and wussy sounding. And then whenever he got the guys, he was always making them sound like really, like, come on. You think the girls want to be like insulted like that? They want to. If you want them involved in the show, at least don't insult them. Come on. Yeah, you tell them.
Shadow complaints as well.
Save that shit for the cruise. I mean, it doesn't belong in a paid concert. And Gene is not a master of ceremonies. He's no Paul Stanley. He just completely cringes through every single rap in his conversations throughout the show. But let's talk about the show. Daniel, please continue. And I'll interrupt you to go around whenever I think that there's something we should all be chiming in on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When I went to the show, I didn't really know what to expect. I'd seen the previous set list and was a bit disappointed. There were too many covers, I think. And also I heard about this thing with him bringing people on stage. And I thought back, I thought about that concert in 2018, which I think was one of the greatest concerts I've seen. And then I remember he brought a good drummer on stage for 1 or 2 songs, and then he had people up for rock and roll night at the end. Then it worked, but now he went totally overboard, so that was a big problem for me. But the first song, let's have a look at it. Here's my point of view. So if you look at the crowd, a lot of youngsters up front, and Gene sounds great. I mean, the vocals are awesome. He plays like a beast. The band sound great. And so it's a great opening of the show. And you're thinking, wow, maybe he's in that 2018 mode. Maybe he'll bring it today. So it was a great start of the concert, and the people and the crowd was really into the first song, and it sounded great, as you can all hear.
19 songs in 2018. 14.
Yeah, big problem
14.
there. Too few songs.
Yeah, I don't see any
why.
covers. Actually, they did do Love Theme, which doesn't really count, but I don't see any
That
covers.
one's a thumbs up.
No covers in 18. No.
Well, yeah, go around. Let's vote. Ken,
Yeah. Deuce. I mean, perfect.
I'm
Great.
happy.
You know, they didn't ruin it or anything. You know, it's a classic. It's a definite thumbs up.
Yeah,
Mark?
It definitely just put the bow on the comment I made earlier. I mean, the band is fantastic. Gene's great. I mean, what a good opener.
Daniel, did you enjoy that?
I did. That was maybe the high point of the show. That was, Deuce Live is like the perfect opener. And it was this time around as well. And then he followed up Deuce. Maybe you want to say something about Deuce Julian first.
Oh, Deuce is my song. I always love it. The band is great and powerful. There was, Christina posted a picture of Gene with his foot up on the monitor, wearing his throwback Reeboks, which I'm like, those are so comfortable. Smart man with bad feet at that age. But they just sound great. My problem with Deuce is that it is so good. It really does set great expectations for the rest of the set. So back to you.
But I think he followed it up with a great song as well. He went from Deuce into War Machine, and I know some people say, "Well, War Machine, they've played." Did you see, by the way, that Bryan Adams is releasing a version of War Machine?
Yeah, he's
Rock and Roll Hell.
Single with Rock and Roll Hell and War Machine.
That's so cool.
He submitted his reference demos, when Kiss were recording in 1982. Now, those couldn't go on a Kiss box because they wouldn't include a non-Kiss artist on a Kiss product from a different label or all that bullshit, business that would get in the way. I don't know if they were even shopped to them to include, but now you'll get to hear his. I don't know if they're. Ken, you've checked them out. Are they new recordings or are they old?
Sounds new to me. Sounds
new.
like new recordings. I heard just the Rock and Roll Hell.
Yeah, the other one isn't out yet.
I haven't heard the other one. Yeah, but there's a video for it that he's done for it. So it sounds good.
It'd be very cool to hear his interpretation of those songs.
It's a little different.
They started with him.
It's a little different. Some of the chord changes are, things like that. A little add chord here or there. And then some of the, singing is different that you miss that you realize how Kiss did it. They did a really great job on the song and did, improved it in my opinion. So War Machine to me was the perfect follow up to Deuce because those are two of my favorite Gene songs of all time. I like War Machine, it's so heavy. So he really started off heavy and no persons on stage, nothing like that. And what a great beginning to the show. I was really enjoying it. Good start.
Well, thumbs up, thumbs down on War Machine in the number 2 slot. Ken?
Thumbs up, definitely. I should always play that song.
Yeah,
I'm giving it thumbs up. Quintessential Gene Simmons. I don't mind hearing that. Mark?
Thumbs up. I like War Machine, always have, and I think it's a good addition to any concert.
There you go.
Back to you, Daniel. Thumbs up?
Yeah, of course. And after that 1-2 punch in the beginning, it was time to do something a bit different. And I think it picked a great song for the third spot. It was this one, if you have a look at this. So, and this was a great follow-up to the 1-2 punch, and I really enjoyed this song. This is one of the mysteries of Kiss lore that this never made an album. It's better than a lot of Gene songs through the years, and it's probably the coolest thing on the box set. I think when it was released, it was the biggest surprise to me that he had this material and it was never on an album. So this is a great song. It works real well live and people get into it. I don't think too many have heard it in the audience, but it works. I mean, it's made to be played live. So the 3 first songs were magic. I think it was a great beginning to the concert.
You know what? Ken and I got to hear this when we went down to the Vault experience, and it obviously as purchasers, we've been given the MP3 of it beforehand. I firmly believe now, and I think I said it previously, that he needs to re-record Are You Ready with his current Gene Simmons Band lineup and release it as a single, a 7-inch single with a live version on the back. Because it really works well in concert. It's a very fun song. It fits in with Deuce War Machine, Are You Ready?
Yeah.
It works with those songs for my taste. And how it never made a Kiss album is just beyond me. How there's not a full Kiss version sitting in a can somewhere for, say, a Sonic Boom Deluxe Edition, which everyone is just clamoring for. Sorry, I take it. Just beyond me. So I'm a thumbs up on that. Ken?
Yeah, thumbs up. First time I heard that song from the Vault, I thought, oh man, this is a really, really great song. I was like, why? Yeah, again, you say, why was this never on a Kiss album? What happened there? I think we know why. But anyway, yeah, definitely fits in. Definitely fits in. And yeah, I think it was a good choice to add it to his set list.
Yeah, sorry, Gene, it's too simplistic. Can't go on a Kiss album. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I give it a thumbs up. I mean, the first time I heard the song, I wasn't sure what I thought about it initially, but as I've heard it more and more, I really like it. I mean, the simplicity of it is what's the appealing part of it. It's easy to remember. You can sing along to it really easy, and it does come across good live. It's really a good, strong song. And again, I'll just echo what you guys said. Why it wasn't on a record. I mean, Sonic Boom, I can see Paul being really, defensive about that and, having his reasons, but it could have made Monster easy. I mean, it's a good enough song that it could have been on there. And there was lots of songs that it was much better than material on there. So why it wasn't on there, who knows? It's politics. Maybe in another book sometime down the road, he'll reveal why.
Daniel, as a non-English speaker, Are You Ready doesn't really make much sense even in English. Is it just one of those songs that musically vibes well? And what were you thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs up. To me, I think it's pretty much Are You Ready to Rock? That's like the thing I got from that song. That's the whole thesis of that song. I mean, get ready to rock and get on with the jumping and the fists in the air, and it's much like a song like I Love It Loud or something like that. I think it's made to be played live. So thumbs up.
And it's simple lyrically that everyone, I guess, can understand, even with a smattering of English. All right, take us on to the next song.
Yeah, now the problems began. Yeah, look at that.
Green hair from Edmonton was there.
Yeah. Okay, so you had a girl with green hair there as well. Yeah. Just have a look at that little girl being forced up on stage. She doesn't know a lick of the song. She doesn't know anything. And she just stands there with her mouth open, completely depleting the song of its energy. And the other girls that were up on stage didn't know too many lines either. So this is the big problem, that this is only the fourth song, and he's bringing people up on stage. And it took a while before he got them on stage as well. So you missed maybe Fits Like a Glove because of those girls going up on stage. So they managed to kind of butcher the classic Shout It Out Loud. It would have worked well without all the people. I mean, but with the people, didn't work. And I was starting to be a little bit nervous. Where is this concert going with? I mean, it's too early to bring people on stage, and it took way too much time to bring them on stage. So this was the first downer of the show. But well, Gene plays it well, but it takes away from the performance, and I mean it drains energy from the performance.
Yeah. So, what do you, a thumbs up or thumbs down on that, Daniel?
Thumbs down on this one.
Yeah, you know what? He said something, and I didn't go back and listen to it to get on the full video from the show. That was very awkward about when one of the girls came up. I think he said something about how she's going to make good babies or something to that effect. And I was just like, Gene,
I don't remember that.
You can't say that anymore. I mean, I went into Keith Valcourt mode. It was just, there was a cringeworthy comments about one of them, and they're all very young. I don't care if they're 20; they're still young. But musically, it was pretty good. It's
Yeah.
Like,
musically.
Again,
But you couldn't focus on the music. You just stood and looked at the little girl standing there with her mouth open. What are you doing here?
I was working on a book with it just playing in the background the first time, so I didn't even know, other than hearing the audience grumbling, what, basically, what the fuck? This is, you just have conversations going instead of a concert, and you can hear the audience just chattering. Mark, thumbs up, thumbs down on that.
Thumbs down, mainly because of the reason that we were just talking about. It became too distracting, and in the back of Gene's mind, I mean, he's living in the past here. He's thinking, this is going to be a great idea. Who's going to not like having girls on stage, dancing around while I'm playing my music? But this is not like 1977. This is people. That's so old hat now. You know what I mean? Like this is and right now musically, people respect women a lot more in these days. Look at like Taylor Swift and stuff like that, who are well known and respected musicians now. So you can't treat them the same way as you did years back. Now it's frowned upon doing that now, and I rightfully so. I mean, if they were going to go up there and actually sing, and if you actually like if they found some girl that was like a known good vocalist from that area, and she came up and actually harmonized with those guys, that would have been fine. I would have had no problem with that at all. But they were just there strictly for eye candy, and that's so old school thinking. That's people are so over that. I mean, Gene needs to kind of catch up with the times a bit here.
Not going to happen. Ken, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Well, thumbs up for the song, thumbs down for the.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah,
the little girl looks like she was waiting for Gene to give her some candy or something.
The candy cane.
Oh yeah.
Oh no,
Daniel. Anyway, but yeah, it just yes, just stop that, Gene. Just stop it. If you're watching, Gene, stop it, please.
All right. Yeah. I'm going to introduce the next song, Daniel, because the first four were songs that you heard in 2018 at Gröna Lund. And now you finally get a song that's new to listeners' ears, I guess, in that area. What was it?
It was House of Pain. I think it's an early version of a Van Halen demo or something like that.
Actual song, actually.
Yeah. So I guess it's kind of cool that it adds that one. But would I rather hear Not for the Innocent or Fits Like a Glove? Yeah. Hell yeah. So for me, it didn't really work. And the other thing is, Gene didn't sing it. I think it's fine if he adds some cover that he really that he's really into, a song that has inspired him, and sings it himself. But I don't want to see one of these guitarists or sing a song and Paul and Gene just playing the bass. For me, it's a thumbs down.
Yeah, you know what? I get it, because he gets to name drop Van Halen, and he gets to tell the story of how he discovered them and recorded them, and how
That's the only reason he plays it, I think.
Yeah.
And it's a great version. I mean,
Yeah.
musically, it's very enjoyable.
Yeah.
But if he was to just keep doing, he'd done it a couple of nights before, Never in My Life, Mountain, then he could at least tell a mountain story, which is most important in terms of a lot of Kiss songs that he wrote, in terms of inspiration. He's just tooting his horn and having an ego stroke for House of Pain. But like Ken said, the last song, musically, I'm a thumbs up, but purpose, I'm a thumbs down on that. Ken?
Yeah, I mean, the people there that went to that concert, I would say 99.9% of the people had never heard that song before. And they probably would never want to hear it again. Nothing against Van Halen, because I liked Van Halen stuff and the old stuff and rare stuff, whatever. It's just, to me, it was a waste of time where they should be putting in, some other Kiss song, Gene song, whatever. They don't. Again, this is the first of covers. I don't like him doing covers of songs. There's no reason for it. That's not what people came and paid for, in my opinion. So I'm going to give it a thumbs down. Maybe they played it good, but it's a thumbs down. It shouldn't be there.
I agree with you guys, but if he was to play a cover, he should pick something that meant something for him. Something that inspired, maybe a Beatles song, something like that.
Yeah. But maybe that's all he's
60s
got.
Song, I don't care.
Yeah, it's like a bad bar band playing at a restaurant, and don't forget to try the cannelloni. Mark,
the thing is, the more I watch his shows, the more I realize that this is just really a historical. This is supposed to be like a walk through Gene's life, a historical look back at Gene Simmons, because everything that's not Kiss, there's some backstory to it. This song was just about good boy Gene patting himself on the back because he discovered Van Halen and that he did the whole recording of their first demos and stuff like that. And it's, in other words, without him saying it directly, he was pretty much saying, you guys should thank me that I found Van Halen, because he would never have had Van Halen without me, is what he's pretty much trying to tell you up there. So, and basically, I don't think that's true. I think they would have been discovered anyways without him. But it was interesting to hear that version of it, because it is musically different from the one that appears on 1984. There are different parts on it and stuff like that. Personally, I like the 1984 version better, but it's a historical thing in that sense. And if you are a follower of Van Halen, then you would appreciate it for that. But I could have did without it. I mean, that would have been better off on maybe a private show or something that he would have did with 100 people or something and talked about it, right? I would have preferred a different song. Thumbs down.
Speaking of Van Halen, actually better not. Daniel, back to you.
What?
What are you hinting
Wait! You can't do that,
Julian. Typical Julian.
God.
This is Julian. Julian's he's always good at doing that.
You don't
He
do
puts
that.
puts the line in and
Yeah.
Don't do
Well,
that.
the next song in the set was Weapons of Mass Destruction, a song from Asshole. Was it released maybe in 2004? Gene Simmons solo album. I can see the point,
Was that
play.
next?
I think that was the next
I
one.
Love It Loud was next.
I thought that was a bit later. Well, we can do I Love It Loud. I Love It Loud, of course, is a classic Gene song. If you play that next, I can't really remember the order. So it might have been I Love It Loud. But then he brought on another guy onto the stage.
Yeah.
But fortunately enough, it was a young kid, maybe, I don't know, 16, 17 years old. And he could play the song. So it was just like adding a third guitarist. It didn't really matter. And I Love It Loud is such a simple song, so it worked. He had prepared, he knew how to play it, and it got a buzz out of the crowd. Because prior, they had those girls on stage that didn't know squat. But this guy, he knew how to play it, so it was kind of cool. And it was great for the guy, just a youngster. So he'll be listening to Kiss for the rest of his life. Remembering this, playing in front of how many, I don't know, 5,000 to 10,000 people. It's a memory that will last forever, of course. And I Love It Loud is one of these songs. I know you guys and me, we've heard it tour after tour after tour, but you have to play I Love It Loud if you're Gene Simmons. So I give it a thumbs up. And the crowd was into it.
Ken?
Yeah, I think that's fine. That's a good song to play, of course. And like Daniel said, the guy didn't really interfere with, or distract really from the song or the show. So I gave it that thumbs up for me.
Yeah, again, thumbs up just because it's quintessential Gene Simmons. But now you're 5 songs in, and you've only had one song that you didn't hear in 20
You've played an hour.
Yep. Mark?
Yeah, it was a better, I guess, appearance of a guest, because at least he could actually perform the song. But again, I don't like this idea of bringing up people randomly up here for that. I mean, we came there to see you play. We're not coming here to. It wasn't promoted as Gene Simmons Band and Friends. It was just Gene Simmons Band. So. Just go up there, do the songs, and like we said 100 times already, the amount of time that you wasted bringing these people up, because even with him it was like, we have a guest coming up. Where is he? Is he coming? Like, there's time wasted here. And here we could have did the other things. So just stick with your own stuff. I think that would have been a lot smoother, and it would have been more flowing to it, a bit better flow to it.
Back to you, Daniel.
Well. Which one was after this one? Was it Communication Breakdown or Weapons of Mass?
Communication Breakdown.
Yeah, Communication Breakdown with one of the guitarists singing it, and Gene taking a back seat. Didn't like it really. What the hell? Playing this cover instead of Not for the Innocent or something like that. I mean, it's crazy. So it's a thumbs down for me. I didn't enjoy this one live. They played well and so on, but I didn't want to hear Led Zeppelin song.
It goes on too damn long. It's got a jam section in the middle that had a bit of Lover All I Can thrown in. I was like, play Lover All I Can then, going back to Wicked Lester days, and tell a story about that. Why are you doing Communication Breakdown? Yeah, sure, I'm sure Led Zeppelin's a massive influence. Paul Stanley did it in 1989 on his tour, so Gene's now got his guys singing it. But again, if Gene's not singing a cover song, it doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense to me when you're going to go see the Gene Simmons Band. So I'm a thumbs down on that, simply because it goes on too long. It could have been 2 songs. It could have been 2 meaningful songs. Ken?
Yeah, I agree. It's a thumbs down. Again, yeah, like you said, too long. Why a Led Zeppelin song? Do we really need that? Again, stick in another Kiss song or Gene Simmons solo song, whatever. It's a waste of time.
Yep. Mark?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've never been a big Zeppelin guy anyways, to be honest with you. But, the thing about Gene's covers, and that's the thing that you guys have already brought up, is that he doesn't sing a lot of these covers. I mean, if he brought a cover up and that he sang it, it would add a little bit of an interesting element to it, because he could do his interpretation of it if he wanted to, right? But it's just them doing another cover that I could hear any band here do on a Saturday night, right? So he could have did without that. He has, for a guy who writes so much music, he says he writes a song every single day, this guy, and has a huge vault of material. You're telling me you need to pull out these many covers? I mean, come on.
Yeah, if Gene Simmons sang any of the 3 covers in this set, he would have gone the way of Steven Tyler, bless him. And none of us want that with what happened. Daniel?
What's the next song?
This is your show. Cold Gin.
You were at the show.
Cold, yeah, but I can't remember the order.
He was Gin. There. I was taking notes. So here we go.
Well, Cold Gin, he brought this youngster on stage, a drummer on stage, and
another one.
Yeah, another one. and
Like an invasion.
you were,
Build a
yeah, you
wall.
thought, what the hell, another guy? But this guy actually nailed it. I don't think it couldn't have even been 20 years old, youngster. He had one of those, the first mustaches you get when you're like 15, 16. He had one of those, sporting one of those. And I thought, this is going down the drain. But then he started playing. And I was immediately, transported back to the mid 90s when I got a hold of a concert, of a bootleg from Santiago, Chile. Eric Singer playing Cold Gin, and it was like a new song. It was so dynamic, and this guy, he played his ass off, and to me this was one of the highlights of the show. This guy actually played the drums way better than the original drummer. He had been studying this song real well, and he performed the hell out of it. And you could see Gene being surprised. Wow, this sounds great. He turned around a lot of times and looked at the guy, and I mean, you got it. Looked at him and told him that this is sounding great. So actually, after the show, I met this boy, the drummer, and I talked to him a bit, and I told him, man, that really transported me to my Kiss, when my Kiss fandom was at its heights. And then he said, yeah, I actually studied those videos when learning those songs. So he had watched the mid-90s videos of Eric Singer playing the song and mimicked that way of playing it. And it was great. And then he said, well, I noticed you. And I thought, yeah, you maybe have seen me on the... I recognize you, he said. You might have seen me on the Let Me Know Swedish podcast. No. I've been listening to that KissFAQ podcast for years. so he was a fan of the podcast. That was kind of cool.
That's very cool. Thank you for listening to our show and also doing justice to Cold Gin. Mark, your thoughts on Cold Gin? Thumbs up, thumbs down.
I've always liked the song Cold Gin. I mean, and like Daniel said, he played it well. Again, I just, my only problem with the show is the same thing that we were talking about now for the last 5 songs, just bringing up different people. I mean, it was almost turning into like a showcase. Like, next up, we're going to have a bass player. Here's my bass, and I'll just sit here on the side and watch, and you can play. Like, that's what I thought was going to happen next, frankly. But, he at least
American Idol, sort of.
Yeah, exactly. So, but at least, the kid did well, and I have no comments about his playing. It wasn't bad. It was good. He played it well, and that's great. At least that happened. At least it wasn't a complete catastrophe, right? Where he did some like bad drum fills or something like that, right? So it turned out well, and I think from here on in it might have started turning out. I'm trying to remember because I can't remember exactly the sequence of events, but again, when the band played on its own without any guests, my memory of it is that it was good, and that's what I would have wanted to hear. So I kind of give this a thumbs up because I think it still performed decent enough.
Yeah, I give it a thumbs up also. It was fine. Yeah, he did just fine on the drums. So it didn't distract too much or anything like that. I think the song sounded good, and that's a song that should be in the set list for sure. So I'm happy with that one. Yeah, nothing else about it. Just it's good. Thumbs up.
I agree. Thumbs up musically. And it's cornball and it's cheesy and it's unprofessional. But you know what? He's retired. Maybe this is just how he wants to do it now. He doesn't want to do a full 19-song set and hit every single spot. He just wants to have friends and family and Kiss friends and family, just come up and be part of it. So I'm kind of, while I'm agreeing too many interruptions, maybe this isn't for us as much as it is for Gene to continue to just play whatever the fuck he wants to do without a sequence sheet for concussions and bombs going off. None of that shit anymore. No backing tapes. We'll screw up a song. We'll let a kid screw up a song. We'll let a kid murder a song and do a great job on it. We'll let a couple of cookies up on stage who have no idea what they're doing, because I'm having fun and I'm making more per show than I did with Kiss. And maybe he's getting more. Maybe it's not about money. Maybe
Attention.
it's about what he's getting out of it for himself. Daniel.
Yeah. I think actually Gene at times tried to play a few other songs, but one thing that other Kiss fans have mentioned in Sweden is that the backing band isn't really the same as he had in 18. That band knew almost every Kiss song in the catalog, so Gene could actually say, what about this song tonight? Well, we can play that one. And I remember him starting a song, I think it was Going Blind or something, and he looked at the other guys. They had no clue. So I think the backup band, while they're good players, they are not die-hard Kiss fans, so he can't do it the same way he did a few years back when he could actually just give an example, or the band could come with a suggestion. Can't we play this one? Yeah, what the hell? Let's play that one. So I think the backing band is great, but they're not, diehard Kiss fans like those guys in, what's their name? Their band is called something.
The Rock and Roll Residency.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So
or the Israeli band.
Yeah, something like that. But this guy drumming, he was just an animal, and I hope he continues his Kiss fandom.
Next song.
What is it?
Ace of Spades.
Oh, Ace of Spades. Yeah, I'd like to see Ace of Spades with Gene on vocals. That would be kind of cool, because it's a band. Motorhead was Lemmy's band. He was a bassist. The bass is really up front, so it will be kind of cool seeing Gene putting the mic like this, like Lemmy had it, and go mental singing that song. That would be kind of cool. But when he doesn't sing it, it's a thumbs down.
Yeah, the hypocrisy of Gene doing a Lemmy song is beyond hilarious. Mr. Jack Daniels cigarette, and just everything that Gene doesn't stand for on that level. But Lemmy was elemental rock and roll, which Gene isn't either. Gene is just rock business. So it's just, I don't want to hear him go anywhere near the Motorhead catalog. But that's just me. Ken?
Yeah. The song's fine, they do it fine, but again, it doesn't belong. It's another wasted opportunity to have play Naked City or whatever song in there. It's just a waste. Again, people may have heard that song before that are in the audience. Of course, it's a little bit more popular than some of the other stuff that they tried, but. Still, they want to see Gene Simmons in Kiss songs, so I gotta give it a thumbs down.
Mark?
Yeah, I mean, I love the song, to be honest with you. I've always been a Motorhead guy, but again, and having a cover again here where he doesn't sing, it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, if he's trying to showcase the band members, say, showing their talents that they can sing besides drumming this guy, then okay, I can understand that. But people don't really care about that. I mean, unfortunately, that's the way it's just structured. It's Gene Simmons. People are there for him. They're not there for Tishy and the other guys, right? But the song didn't sound bad. I thought it was fine, but. If you're presenting it as a Gene Simmons band, you should be the one singing it. I mean, and if it doesn't sound exactly like Lemmy, great. I mean, nobody sounds like Lemmy anyways. Maybe a few exceptions. Maybe Udo could do a good version of it or something, right? But you're never going to sound like him anyway. So why bother worrying about that. If you're going to go and do the cover, do it and sing it just because you love it and you want to do it because you like the song. But I agree, though, it is very strange to have him do a song that's so against his whole motto of life. You know, Lemmy was all about the booze and the smoking and the cigarettes, the you know, his Jack Daniels and everything like that. And Gene is definitely not about that. So
Gene doesn't really care. I mean, isn't he selling, at one point in time, he was selling
marijuana,
grass, you know, marijuana, and gin, and beer, and all kinds of stuff. So he has no problems, you know, about that.
That's true.
Gene Simmons, the pusher man. Yeah, no. when it comes to Lemmy, I don't see what the connection is. He could easily tell a story about someone who did work with Lemmy, and that is Wendy O. Williams, and then do say "Thief in the Night" or what was it? Was it "Thief in the Night"?
Thief in the Night.
That was one of
on
them.
the Wow album.
Or
The Legends Die, or It's My Life as a segue into that.
Yeah.
Daniel, next song.
Yeah, which one is it? I don't know.
It's I Give You Weapons of Mass.
Yeah, that is Weapons of Mass Destruction. Well, I can see why he wanted to play one song off his solo album from 2004, and maybe this was the song that might work best live, but it didn't really go over well with the audience. But I don't mind it. I think it's way better than any of the covers. So even though it didn't go over that well, I appreciated it. I don't think I've heard it before live. So I'll give it a thumbs up.
And you don't need to hear it live again. I'll give it a
No,
thumbs up because
that's true.
Again, it's a deep catalog song, so I'll take it. Would I rather hear something like "Sweet and Dirty Love" from that album? Hell yeah, you know, maybe something a little bit more catchy. I actually like a few songs on there. Ken, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, they did it fine. It's okay, but yeah, I would have had something like you said, definitely "Sweet and Dirty Love" or pull out "Hate" from Carnival of Souls or something like that.
You win. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I think "Hate" would go over well live in that environment. So I'm just gonna give it a halfway, kind of not up and not down. I'd rather have a different song though.
Yeah, no, "Hate." They wouldn't know that either, so might as well. Mark.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. Weapons of Mass Destruction was never really a favorite of mine, but they performed it well enough. So, and again, I'd rather hear that than a cover, to be honest with you. I mean, at least it's something that we're hearing from his actual discography, and we get to hear something from his, you know, extensive career. And I think that's what people want to hear when they go and see bands like this too. You know, I mean, I think that's one of the big complaints people have when they see Ace live. You know, he doesn't play enough of his own back catalog. He just realizes he's too reliant on the Kiss catalog. He doesn't do enough from his own solo material. And you know, the people really should start doing that. And I applaud Gene for doing that, at least in this circumstance, that he did his own song there. So I give it a thumbs up for that.
Yeah, Bill Phelps, thanks for joining us. Yes, we agree with you. At least it's his own song. Daniel, back to you for the next song, which is Parasite.
Yeah.
Speaking
Parasite.
of it, Charlie.
Yeah. Parasite. Thinking back when I became a Kiss fan, the first time I really got hooked on Parasite was when I heard it live on the '92 Revenge tour, when I heard the heaviness of it. And Gene managed to do that on this show as well. It was real heavy. He sang it great. Heavy rocking tune that, even though it's an Ace Frehley song, over the years it's become a Kiss song and more of a Gene Simmons song. So I like his delivery on the vocals, and it's just such a great song. It's one of my favorites of all time. So of course it's a thumbs up.
Yep, same with me. Thumbs up. Core Kiss catalog, sung by Gene, written by Ace. Great song. Can't go wrong with it. It's OG Kiss. I want to hear that sort of stuff now that Kiss is done. Mark?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, now we're kind of getting back to business here. I mean, he's doing a song that he sings very well. He's known for doing. The band is playing very strongly on this, I feel, and this is what people came to see. I believe is this kind of thing where it's something from his catalog, something from the Kiss catalog, and he's singing it. They're performing it really well, and I think this is where people start feeling, okay, things are back to normal again now. So I think it's a thumbs up.
Ken?
Yep, thumbs up. Great song. They played it really well. I thought, wow, this sounds really, really good. And I enjoyed it thoroughly. So, thumbs up for me.
Yep. All right, Daniel. One of my all-time favorite songs by Gene, mainly because of a cover that was performed at the Rock and Pod Expo long ago. By Craig Smith, Charisma.
Yeah.
The first song on the album, right, Ken?
Yeah. Dynasty, right. For me.
Actually, when I saw this song live, I thought about Ken. And I thought, man, if Ken could be here and see this, because it was such a great rendition of the song. I mean, Gene still sings so well. I mean, it sounds exactly as you want it. And he plays well, and the band was really into this song, and no extra personnel was required. No girls shaking their asses, no youngster playing any instrument. It was just pure classic Kiss. And I don't think they've played Charisma at a lot of the previous shows.
No.
At least for me, it was a surprise that he played it. I remember he played it in 2018, and it went over real well. And it did this time around as well. I mean, people really were into this song. I looked around and I thought, man, do people know this one? Or is it just because it's such a great song, people get into it, even though they've never heard it? But it went over real well, and it was, of course, a thumbs up.
Yeah, first performance of the song since May 2023. Just a quick scan and a surprise. Ken, got to go to you next. Charisma.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just a week ago we listed songs that should be, and that was my number one song. I said that should be in the set list, and maybe Gene was listening and heard me, and hopefully he was. I think he needs to listen to me more, actually.
Yeah.
But, great job. Great song to put in there. That should be in the set list. Definitely one of them. Nothing bad to say about it. It's a fun song and good. So, thumbs up.
Yep, Charisma. I flew to Edmonton to see the band previously to hear songs like this. I want to hear Charisma. I want to hear Almost Human. I want to hear Larger Than Life. I want to hear Naked City or She's So European. And these aren't even really deep cuts like Hate or Weapons.
Sure.
Those are the things that I would be most excited. So when I saw that pop up on the set list, I smiled. I immediately thought of Ken. I immediately remembered why I went to Edmonton. Absolute thumbs up. It's a great song, and it really works well live. Mark.
Yeah, this song has a soft spot to me as well. I mean, I did this as a cover in one of my bonus track things from my Project Gemini album, and I've always loved it. I always thought it was one of the strong songs off Dynasty, and you know how I feel about Dynasty. Dynasty is one of my top 5 records from Kiss. I've always loved that record. So anything from that record that they played, even if he played X-Ray Eyes, I would have been loving it, because that's such a great Gene song for me as well. So play anything from this record that you sing, or anything from that time period. Even play something from the Unmasked thing, like Naked City. That'd be great to hear him do something like that. Maybe it's a little bit more technically complicated to play. It's not difficult, but it's more challenging. But I think they could still do a great job of it. So I'm all for it. Thumbs up. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, nice catch on the X-Ray Eyes.
Yes.
Very good catch. Daniel, I think you've got video for the next song, which is Calling Dr. Love.
You need my love, and you know it's true.
Nice to not see so many phones in that audience, by the way. Everyone didn't have one.
No, was just me. Just me. But I tend to film like 30 seconds and then I get into the song. I think it's a cool memory to have. Yeah, maybe I'm a TikToker, but I like having short snippets, memories from every show I've been to. But I want to be present. I want to be active. I want to rock out. But you can film like 30 seconds here and there. And as you all hear, it sounds perfect. I mean, it's such a classic Gene song. The vocals are awesome. The band sound so tight. So this was really great to hear Calling Dr. Love in second row at the concert and having Gene pointing at you at times and stuff like that. That's real cool. So it's a thumbs up.
Yeah, thank you for capturing some video to share with us today. It's always nice just to, again, I agree with you. 30-second clips. That was all I was doing. Basically at the final shows because I just got sick of trying to record shows and miss it as a result. I said it this for several other songs in this set today. Quintessential Gene, Calling Dr. Love is Gene. I want to hear it. I don't care how many times I've heard it, and especially now that the road is over, I want to hear it any opportunity I get. Thumbs up. Ken?
Yeah, technically this song is, to me, is his greatest hit. To me it's more of his song or his theme song more so than like God of Thunder. To me, this is the quintessential Gene Simmons song. It's all Gene. It's perfect for him. So I don't get tired ever of hearing this song. It's one of my favorite all-time songs for Kiss. So yeah, nothing bad. Thumbs up on that.
Yep. Mark, asking for a refund yet, or are you down with Dr. Love?
Oh, I'm definitely down with Dr. Love. I mean, Dr. Love is probably one of my favorite songs that Gene has done for sure. It has probably one of Ace's best guitar solos that he's ever done as well. And I have a close connection to this song for another reason. I mean, Gene Simmons is a big fan of comedy, as I am, and the whole start of this was from a Three Stooges thing, calling Dr. Howard, calling Dr. Fine, calling Dr. Howard. It was right from an episode where they were all dressed up as doctors and they woo 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 and they hit each other, and it was total comedy to gold for me. And he loved that stuff, obviously, because that's what the inspiration was for calling Dr. Love. So I love this song. He could play it 100 times. He could play it 2 times in a row and it wouldn't bother me live. So great song and a good addition to the concert.
Daniel, did you thumbs up or down it yet?
Thumbs up. Thumbs ups all the way.
Well, what's the last song in the set?
I guess it's that horrible rendition of Rock and Roll All Night. This was, what a way to end your career in Sweden, probably. The worst version of Rock and Roll All Night of all time. He brought up a lot of kids. They had no clue. They didn't even sing a lick. They just stood there and looked flabbergasted. So, and the ones who sang, they sang it incorrectly. So the band, got out of whack and it sounded awful. So this is probably the worst version I've ever heard of Rock and Roll All Night. And then he like, goodbye, see you another time. It was such a bad ending to the show, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It wasn't like this when he ended in 2019 when I saw him in Stockholm. He brought up a lot of folks, but it worked. But this time around, it was like, what the hell is happening? And the band, they had to look at each other. Where are we? Where are we in the song? And let's see. And they sang completely wrong. And well, it was just a mess. So this is a big thumbs down. I don't understand how it could go so wrong, but it was a mess. Thumbs down.
Well, at least he didn't use it as a stepping stone to introduce his Avatar arriving in 2029.
Do you have audio clip of this? Is there a clip of this or no?
Yeah, I don't have it because
okay.
I was so
It was
disappointed. But
messed up.
about the avatars, there was a lot of gossip about what's the name of that company?
Pop House.
Pop House. Going around when we went to the pubs after the show, and I got to hear some stuff about
Yeah.
Pop House.
Yeah, there is stuff. Yeah, best not to be heard, actually, in some ways.
Might have been.
Yeah, with Rock and Roll All Night, yeah, whatever. And he's just going to do that. And again, it doesn't really bother me. It just is very disappointing that in 2018 you had Love Theme from Kiss, She's So European, Do You Love Me, It's My Life, Watching You, Fits Like a Glove, Let Me Go Rock and Roll, and Christine 16 also performed during the show at Grona Lund. And that's a fitting capstone to all of those songs when you get to the end of that song road. But it's just a complete train wreck. Ken.
Yeah, it was really messed up. Anticlimactic, which is the song, which what ended up being. It's like what a weird way to go out on that. I mean, yeah, normally when you have that song, it's a party song, have that everyone sings along, it sounds good, and thank you and good night. And it was kind of like, what just happened? It's kind of it was all over the place. I think if you're going to bring people up on stage for that song, at least survey them first. Say, do you know how to sing this song? Do you even know this song first? And do you know how to sing it? Would you like to sing it? If you do know it, can you sing it?
And why do you go up if you don't have a clue? I mean, stay the hell away from the stage.
Yeah. So I don't know why they even
a free meet and greet picture. That's why unpaid meet and greet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it was a train wreck. Too bad. They should have just done one more song just to correct that ending of the concert. Just throw another song in there and go out without any people on stage and just do a solid good song and then end it, because that did not end well.
Time restrictions.
I'm gonna give it a thumbs down because it was a cluster.
Well, even Kiss have to rehearse Rock and Roll All Night. I was watching the MTV rehearsals, and Peter discovers that he's been singing it wrong.
Okay. How can you sing that wrong?
Wow.
Getting the verse mixed up. Mark.
I will just conclude this by saying this proves my point. Now, first of all, Sylvia Ruth, I've already seen it. I was just asking him if he was just going to put it on just for the people out who are watching this. I've seen it already, so I don't need to see it again. But the whole thing with this just proves my point that this is what you don't want to do. I mean, before this song was happening, he was on a good roll and it was feeling good. People were enjoying it. It was sounding good. And now to end your show like this with a complete disaster on the song that's probably the most easiest. I mean, musicians probably were laughing at each other and laughing at Gene for this, because how could you have such a simplistic song like this go completely tits up? Well, you do that. Exactly what he just did. You bring up a bunch of people who don't know what's going on, how to sing the song, what the song even is, and then they completely blow it. And you know what? That's not a good thing to do, because when you're done a show, you go off now, you're going to the back there, and either you laugh about it and say what a complete disaster is, or it pisses you off. And then, that kind of thing happens and you start finger pointing and it could go terribly wrong. You can say, well, what a stupid idea, Gene, and he has a big argument with somebody, and who knows, right? I'm just saying that it's just such a bad vibe to end a show on with. So you should never do that. Never bring up people like that at the end of a show and do that unless you know. I mean, the only time I've ever seen something like that work is when bands are touring, like when they did the Big Four, like that. And at the end of one of the songs, like the end of the Metallica set, they bring all the bands up and they do it. Well, of course, those guys are all going to know those songs, so it's going to go great, right?
That's I evil?
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's going to end good, but not like this. So some people who just go up there because I want to go up there and look at me, I'm on stage with Gene, I don't even know the song, but I'm on stage. You don't want those people up on there. So I give it not just one, but 2 thumbs down on that. And that's the way you don't end the show.
I wish Mark wasn't so shy, and it really gets tiresome having to drag responses out of him. I mean, okay, Daniel, you alluded to the conversations in the pub afterwards. What was the feedback for this show in the Peanut Gallery? What was the overall takeaway? Was it thumbs up or thumbs down from the people who you were talking with, without naming any names?
No, I got to talk to quite a few people after the show. We went to 2 different pubs, and people were almost angry about the same thing that we've talked about. The thing that he brings up too many people from the audience, and that takes away from the show. And everyone was talking about, I would like to hear 2 or 3 or 4 more songs instead. I mean, what the heck is he thinking about? That was the main thing. People were upset almost about that. Even though they appreciated the drummer, got a lot of praise that played Cold Gin. People liked him. But most people thought that would have been enough. Just bring that guy on and skip the rest and play a few more songs. Because people were so irritated because of all the time that it took for people to get to the stage. You have to remember, he was just pointing at people in the front rows. I mean, do you know this song? Are you sure? You promise? Okay, get up. And you? I mean, it took. Do you know this song? Is it? Are you certain? Okay, get up. And they didn't know the song. They just went up there and shook their ass. Yeah, so that was the biggest problem that people had with the show, and people were a bit disappointed because I think most of the people had been to the previous show at Gröna Lund in 2018, and this was not on par with that one. That one was a 5 out of 5. This one was okay, not more than that, but because of this problem. But Gene brought it. Gene sang well. Gene played well. The band was great. And some people mentioned that. I think someone said that he started going blind, and they were disappointed that the band couldn't play it. So some people were referring to the other backup band as being a much better backup band. I don't know about that, but so people were. But at the same time, they said, "Well, he's 75. It was okay." So they were kind of pleased, but a little bit disappointed.
Yeah, in some ways, it almost feels like it's a reaction to the structure of the last 5 years, that it's been so regimented. He's been, under the thumb of, the strict structure, and now it's just like, fuck it, you come up. Yeah, he's like the Oprah of heavy metal. You come up. And I wouldn't have such a problem with it if, and again, I'm not attending, so I don't have any financial investment in getting a good show out of Gene. I'm going to watch it on YouTube for free after the fact. But it would almost be nice if it was logistically possible to have an afternoon sound check experience with Gene that they're paying for, and the winner, judged by the band, gets to join them on stage. So it's like that Kiss guy who got to join the Foo Fighters on stage years ago, and I think Detroit Rock City, or was it
the Kiss guy? Yeah, and that was cool.
Yeah, the Kiss guy with the Foo Fighters is a really cool manufactured heavy metal moment or hard rock moment. If they did that, but they could also turn it into a business event. So you're getting to jam with the Gene Simmons Band to see who's the best, jammer, who's going to get to jam with the band during the concert, rather than having it. Are you sure you play the game?
It was crazy.
Which is just cornball. But again, I'm glad he's on tour. I'm glad he's
doing something.
I'm glad he's doing a couple of things that are new. And just before we wrap up here, because we've gone on a long time, and this is my third show of the week. It is also, they dropped the Animalize merchandise. Ken, did you manage to get any of that? Were you even interested in any of it? The pre-orders, the picture disc, the colored vinyl, and some t-shirts.
I just got the colored vinyl. I didn't get the picture disc. I think it was sold out before I even was going to, do it anyway. But I think the colored vinyl, that was enough. So I'm good with that.
Yeah, I don't need to buy Animalize ever again. I've got a copy. I just want to hear the music. I've got the demos. I So I'm okay with all that. Mark, did you miss it? Did you care, or was there any T-shirt that you saw that you're like, "Ooh, that's nice"?
I saw it kind of late, but the thing again with this, and this is the thing that always really annoys me about the latest run of these Kiss things, that they're not giving you a chance to buy this stuff separate now. Now you have to buy a shirt, you have to buy something with it, and I don't want those things that come with it. I just wanted the colored vinyl, and you can't buy it separately, so fuck it, I'm not gonna buy it. How's that? And so I'm just gonna wait until I see a time when there's another T-shirts I like. I'm just gonna buy that. I didn't buy anything from it. I have a couple of good pressings of Animalize. I even have a sealed copy of Animalize in my collection, so I don't need another one. I just wanted to get the color one just to be supportive. But yeah, there should be a record only option like they had it before, not being handcuffed to have to buy a shirt as well on top of it.
Yep.
I've now got 2 picture discs that I didn't even want. I've got the Psycho Circus picture disc. I've got this Dynasty one. Did not want either of them. And then you get an email. Yeah, Sylvie's absolutely right. You get an email about it after the fact. I only saw about it on Facebook. I didn't. Again, I don't follow too many groups these days because I'm just too damn busy. I don't care about missing out on it. Daniel, thank you for all the multimedia and for attending the show. We'd like to think that it was on our behalf, but we know you went to see people, which is always fun, especially with the crowd that you were with. What a fun bunch of people. Great Kiss fans. And again, the whole of Scandinavia is a great bunch of Kiss fans.
I would just like to give a big thank you to all the persons who approached me and gave feedback on the KissFAQ podcast and the Swedish podcast that I've been a part of, and really praising the stuff that we've done. And I was surprised at how many youngsters that confronted me and talked about the KissFAQ podcast and the other Swedish podcasts, and were really positive and appreciated the time that we've put into this thing. We've done it for almost 10 years, guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I mean, it's
bumps in doing it.
It's a good point, though. I mean, I think we sometimes forget that, because we're in our little world here talking to each other, and then, when we start hearing things from other people, and I hear it too. I mean, I've heard it from a few people, surprisingly enough, even here in my neck of the woods, where people said, "Yeah, I remember seeing you." Because I had the KissFAQ T-shirt on. Somebody actually mentioned when I was walking my dog that he watches it just in my neighborhood here. So it's surprising how far the reach is, and I think sometimes we forget that, so it's good to do it.
So I think we play an important part in some people's lives, and one guy approached me. It was kind of cool. We were just talking. It was after the show, and I talked to a guy, and he like, "Well, I recognize your voice." What? What are you talking about? I've heard that voice before. I know that accent. And I've been a part of Swedish podcasts as well, and I'm from the north of Sweden. I mean, I can hardly understand the people from the south. They have this Paris R's. They can't say the they can't do that. They say or something like that. So I can't even understand them. But I didn't think I had that big of a dialect in Swedish. But I love your dialect. It's so cool. And I've heard you. Okay, that's kind of cool. And when I've heard that, I actually went on and listened to that KissFAQ podcast as well. So, I mean, there are seems to be a lot of Swedes that listen to the KissFAQ podcast.
Yeah.
And some of them haven't even realized that I'm Swedish. But that was kind of a cool moment. I love your dialect. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get the angry emails when we don't do a show one week, and it says, "Why is there no show this week?"
You should all know that Julian is very busy. If Ken was, the headmaster of this show, we would do 5 shows a week.
Yeah, that's right. I got nothing better to do.
No, I'm very busy, but this week I'm a lot happier because
good, very good, Julian. We want you to be happy.
Well,
you should. Maybe you should take it easy with all your projects, one at a time.
Well,
I
try. keeps me sober. So there we go.
There you go.
Next week we have an episode I have an episode in the can already for our Thursday time slot. But who knows? Maybe we can get together Saturday, same time, same channel, and talk more Kiss, because we do
That would
have
be
shit
cool.
coming up. So
Yeah.
let's see what everyone's schedules looks like. We've had a great hangout today. There's been a whole bunch of, we've had a very good amount of people joining us live, joining us with comments. We do appreciate it. Rex Meltzer, we see you there. Daniel is indeed cool. So is the rest of the crew as well. And we're fighting to try and get the comments up. There's two of us who have control. But that's it. What do you think of the Gene Simmons solo tour? What are your thumbs up, your thumbs down from recent shows? And we've already talked about the kind of songs that we think should be in there, and it has no point now that Daniel's seen them. So chime in wherever you listen to us. But for now, from Daniel, from Mark, Ken, and myself, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.